and Ridley and coming back. What movement to optimize in there?
So GT Classic, for those who are curious, we'll probably go over it a few times as we get closer and closer to Golden Chorizo, is basically any percent through use of the GT code, which grants you a large number of items. So the idea is to collect as few items as possible and then beeline it straight for Golden Chorizo. Use that code as you enter his room, which gives you 53% of the game's items, all of the majors minus screw attack, as well as a substantial number of missiles and super missiles. So then after that, it basically just becomes a race to defeat all the bosses as fast as possible without really wasting any time to pick any other items up.
Yeah, the main obstacle to getting to that room is the lava dive that's needed to get into Lower Norfair. But before doing this, the runners will get high jump and a few E-tanks. And that'll allow them to get through there.
Yeah, taking the time to visit Crate and get Varia is much, much quicker than trying to farm up enough E-tanks and power bombs to do the RBO strat of crystal flashing and Ridley. It's not a true RBO, but it's a little bit of a race to Ridley. Yeah, the video feed's good. They just like to sync up the timers there, so both of the runners are more or less at the same pace. And wow, a perfect Ceres sync up there.
Very nice. Along the sync glass. But our runners are now landing. Seems ready to explore it, get the items to head on down to GT's room and decode.
Yeah, you know, before I started running this game, I always thought that these first few minutes here, Ceres Station, going down, Morph Ball, Alpha Missiles, Bombs, was just going to be miserable and boring, but it's a nice little warm-up, you know, it lets you sort of set the pace for your race, it lets you kind of get your fingers loosened up, it's not bad at all.
There we saw TGDerp do a moonfall. That's a way of finding a moonfall with some other movement to uncap Samus's falling speed.
And the sync is real. Oh.
To have accidentally pressed up. Not wake up without grabbing the missile pack that TGDerp has just grabbed.
It will not, and entering that room, seeing that fog bear, just realizing it.
And that room woken up, bring those missiles. This is this is likely the only missile pack that the runners actually will be grabbing.
Yeah, once you get the GT code, it sets your missiles to, I believe it's 100, which is certainly more than enough to finish the game.
At TGDerp doing the climb with wall jumps up the right side.
Yeah, nice clean climb there, not getting trolled too much by the space pirates. Cross product losing about 30 seconds or so with that elevator, but that is certainly more than close enough to make up depending on what happens here. This is still a very tight race.
TGDerp is about to start the only mini-boss fight that is done in what you might say is the conventional way in this run. Say the same about GT because you have the same items you would in 100%.
Yeah, that's a good call. I often forget about the X-ray plasma combo that gets used in this run, which we will go into a little later. It's always a nice little surprise to see that one get pulled out.
Has taken down Bomb Terizo right as Cross Product goes into the room.
High five there.
Through the door.
And the rare left side Bomb Terizo fight.
Yeah, Bomb Terizo made some interesting moves there. We're past Bomb Terizo and can head on down to Brinstar and grab super missiles, and that's the only thing they'll likely be getting between there and Kraid.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest, I should have done my homework. I don't remember if there's an orange door between here and Bomb Terizo, or Gold Terizo, excuse me.
Are power bombs that they need to get before going down the Kraid into Norfair. That pack of super missiles is not the only Brinstar item. Has grabbed the early supers thanks to doing a mock ball in that room. Go towards Big Pink.
Yeah,
taking the elevator down into Brinstar.
That one mock ball to get into early supers there, I think that's probably the single most time-saving trick in the game, because it lets you completely bypass Spore Spawn, which pretty much the only category Spore Spawn's running anymore is the mini-boss RTA, which requires beating him. Otherwise, even 100% doesn't take the time to stop in there and get him. They just go into his super missiles through the back door.
100% map still has to defeat Spore Spawn to get to the beginning of the path to the supers.
Good point. I do forget about 100% map. That's a really fun category. Well, it's a fun one to watch. I can't say that it's all that fun to run.
Has reached Red Tower, heading up to grab those power bombs. Before starting to jump up, didn't quite make it up there, but TGDerp just jumps back up and makes it up there. Grabbing an extra pack of missiles. The damage boost across to the power bombs. Ooh, but lands in the Vile Plume.
Miss. Yeah, that room is definitely one of the trickier ones to get the D-boosts in.
Yeah, I actually have an easier time doing these D-boosts in this category when I don't have high jump or speed booster.
Yeah, these shorter rooms, having high jump boots can be a little bit of a detriment. I'm one of those people that still has to actually turn high jump boots off to make it across the moat, or the ocean rather, in Old Route. Otherwise, I just bonk my head.
Heading right through away as TGDerp finishes getting through and heads down Red Tower. I'll head straight to Kraid. From crossproduct in the power bomb room. Product can start making his way down Red Tower. Headed into Kraid's lair.
And Kraid Quick Kill is a pretty common one, although it certainly can happen to even the absolute best runners, that it just doesn't get pulled off. It can be pretty tricky. TGDerp opting to use power bombs to kill the pirates in this room.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about having power bombs early. If you're short on missiles or want to conserve missiles. Now going to try the Kraid Quick Kill.
And there's two sort of presiding theories on, well, not really theories, but there's two ways to do this. The first is by stunning Kraid using a charge shot, which holds his hand in place, but then you have to get 4 super missiles into his mouth, whereas if you shoot 2 missiles really quickly, one of those missiles will go into his mouth, and you only have to get 3 super missiles, but you do have to contend with his hand possibly being in the way. It's a little bit quicker to use the 2 missiles technique. It's a little bit safer to use the hand technique depending on your playstyle.
Oh, we got nice high five in the pre-Kraid room.
Yeah, cross product definitely closing in the gap here.
His timing on the first super missile was a little bit off there. The key to the Kraid Quick Kill, ending the first super missile when the mouth has is on the frame of opening place.
Yeah, and one thing I only recently learned is that if you do end up having to stand Kraid up, there's a pretty RNG sensitive amount of time before he will open his mouth again, regardless of what you do. Cross product actually got lucky there, and he opened his mouth relatively quickly, and he was able to finish him off. If you get bad luck there, it's kind of like the difference between a slow fan tune and a fast fan tune. You just kind of have to sit there and wait for a little while.
TGDerp has grabbed High Jump E-Tank and Kraid E-Tank. Oh, makes sense because this is a race. And is getting the last remaining major item that is needed to... Not needed, but makes it a lot easier to do the lava dive.
Yeah, both of these items, high jump boots and the high jump boots E-Tank, not technically required, but in a race setting, or really for any runner who isn't a machine, it's going to make lava dive a lot easier, as you said.
Lava dive is a thing, but it is ridiculously difficult.
Yeah.
Taking a hit from a fireball. More E-tanks are needed. the high jump boots for cross product.
Cross product, skipping the high jump boots E-tank. We might see him get that on the way out, though. I'm sorry, he did not skip it. He must have skipped the crate E-tank.
Skip one, crate is the one to skip.
Yeah.
2 door transitions. Saving before heading down to lava dive. Be detouring into the room to the right to farm up to full super missiles. Number of chances that he'll have at the green gate glitch after lava dive.
Yeah, one of the few times you'll see that refill room there, probably 100% map being the other one, crucial to getting those supers up, so you don't miss, well, so if you miss the green gate glitch, you got a nice fallback.
It's like just going for this. Jumping through that door, trying to get the bounce ball strat. Didn't get it though. But with that third E-tank, one attempt at making it up here doesn't work out. There will be
Well done.
more, but TGDerp has gotten through, and before heading down to Lower Norfair, because Green Gate Glitch is, as always, a thing.
And you see there with 185 energy, technically that third energy tank is not required, but it's pretty nice to have as a safety here. Cross product going for it without it, we will see what happens.
Good movement on the with high jump can make it with just one E-tank.
Nice bounce ball there.
Goes through the lava dive. TGDerp going for that green gate glitch, getting it on the second try.
And well done by both runners there. TG for getting through that green gate glitch, and cross product for making it through that lava dive very smoothly.
Now going to bomb these blocks out to head into the back door of GT, and is going to hold the 4 buttons position. You will see that TG now has gravity suit on, and actually has all of the major items except for screw attack now. Code.
Yeah, and
TG can now defeat GT the same way that one would do so in 100%. It is right behind.
Yeah, and 2 things you'll notice here. The first is that both runners are skipping screw attack, even though they're walking right by it, but then getting it on the way out. And the reason for that is the GT code will actually take screw attack away from you, but the game recognizes that you've already picked it up, so when you go to pick it up on your way out, it actually still won't be there, so you'll be screwing yourself out of having screw attack.
Yeah, another thing is that after getting into GT room, the runners immediately paused the game and turned off Spazer. As GT code leaves you with all of the beams enabled, but that's an invalid combination, and if you fire it, it causes the game to call a function pointer beyond the end of a table, and very bad things happen.
Very, very bad things.
But now that both runners have defeated GT and have the items, to Ridley. Nice fast pillar from cross product.
So Ridley is unfortunately immune to the microwave beam, presumably because the game expects you to have plasma and X-ray by the time you get to him.
Yeah, Ridley is fight that's probably closest to what it would be in other categories of the ones that we do after GT code.
Yeah, definitely.
The movement through Lower Norfair after GT code is what I like to call minus the item collection.
Yeah, when you've got screw attacks, base jump, all that stuff, it makes getting in and out of Ridley much easier, and obviously no stopping to farm.
Items really does help. I mean, there's even we even have to we can't even we have to remember the best item in the entire game.
Spring Ball, of course.
Especially on the escape from the Ridley area. Its usefulness.
And both runners now in Ridley's room. Cross product still trailing a little bit behind, but keeping that space nice and close.
Nation takes 20 shots to defeat Ridley.
Ridley, a
Yep,
nice
TGDerp
bright shade of pink here.
has beaten Ridley, while TGDerp was taking full advantage of Spring Ball climbing up Wasteland.
There is something really satisfying about just bouncing across rooms with that thing.
And there's another place where it shows its usefulness. Cross product is on his way back out of Lower Norfair. It looks like cross product might have been trying to do the speedball through there.
I think so. That is a really nice little swaggy strat there to mock ball, or blue mock ball. I forget the official term for it, but it does a really good job of clearing out a lot of bricks.
Derp has made it to the exit of Lower Norfair. Using a power bomb to get to the speed tunnel and out towards Meridia for the next boss. We're getting to mid-game bosses, where we will get to a special combination of items that such bosses in this category. About that when they a boss that do such combination.
Yeah, someone described it, and actually it's incredibly obvious once somebody said it out loud, but never occurred to me that essentially Plasma and Wave Beam are similar in that Wave Beam allows your shots to travel through bricks and walls and then out of bounds, and Plasma Beam does the same thing for enemies. So actually there are some enemies that are large enough, and if they're moving away from you, Plasma Beam hits them twice, once first, and then they get some number of invulnerability frames, and then it hits them again and they just get destroyed. the metal pirate room is a good example of this. So the X-ray beam allowing you to reset those iframes, those invulnerability frames. Well, not reset them technically as much as you're just allowing them to run out while your plasma beam is still just kind of hanging out there in midair doing its damage.
Yep, that is pretty much how the X-ray plasma combination works. And TGDerp is just about to get to Batoon so that we can all see that in action.
Yeah, and the plasma beam does such a high amount of damage that it really only takes a few seconds of X-raying to get it to go off properly. If you sit there and spam it, Batoon will have been dead some number of times over.
Batoon, the shot needs to hit 4 times.
And there we have it.
Did need to be sure that the barrier in the middle of the room finished breaking. Batoon and the barrier will be there again when room to get out of Meridia.
Oh, that's an interesting point. I did not know that.
You can still beat Batoon again, but past Batoon, TGDerp is heading into the Dragon fight, where exactly the same combination caused Dragon to swoop down for the beginning of the fight, and you going down.
Yeah, this is the one that really makes me salty, because Dragon, at least for me personally, is still the hardest boss in any percent. And just watching him or her get demolished like this is ridiculous. Quick and
one
easy.
Of the tougher boss fights to is in the other categories. The items from GT code, we can get the most optimal kill of all. Such a kill does not result in blue suit, so TGDerp does need to space jump back across Coliseum. Not crouch for the shot, but many runners will do so because the moment Dragon dies, you get forced into the standing pose, and that's a good sign of when you can stop mashing the dash button for X-ray. And that getting blue suits off of Dragon in other categories is a thing.
Yeah, pulling off the spike suit there is really tricky. I think it requires 2 frame perfect inputs. It's a little faster than blue suit, but like you said, either way, it's irrelevant because you don't get it in this one. And TGDerp, just murdering that defenseless, innocent fish.
Technically, you could get a spike suit doing that with off of an ordinary Shine Spark charge in the time between when Dragon dies and when the room opens. Just getting a Shine Spark suit, as we've said, is actually, I think one of the inputs is a 2-frame window, but one of the other inputs is the other input for it is frame perfect. Derp and crossproduct can head on into the wreck ship and defeat their final golden statue represented boss, Phantoon. This is probably the only category that does Phantoon fourth.
Certainly the most rewarding boss kill in this run. Now, Fantoon, even though these runners are very likely going to kill him in one round, there is, I believe, an 11-second difference between the slow and fast patterns, so just RNG alone can either cost or save you a decent amount of time here.
Yep, even one round Fantoons still have to deal with. We've got a medium pattern for TGDerp. With the missile, very nice X-raying, was needed so that in order to get Fantoon into the state where he's floating around the room vulnerable, the charge shot, then he immediately closes. X-raying won't let the shot hit him a second time. He needs to land 3 times to There's cross products missile shot. And there's the X-ray.
Excellent. Well executed.
Looks like TGDerp was trying to charge a spark but didn't get it.
Yeah, there are a few spots like that where, well, I suppose a new route you wouldn't have speed booster here, so it's irrelevant. But a couple of shine spark we see in categories like GT Classic and 100%, where health becomes a concern in other categories that you just don't want to have to worry about farming health or dying, and it's quicker just to skip the shine spark. So TGDerp and cross product both headed to the golden 4 here. Cross product is catching up, and he gets the ocean fly, reverse ocean fly.
It's reverse ocean fly. Headed down to that statue room.
And skips the moat missiles there. That would have cost him a 7-second fanfare. Now, a number of things can go wrong here in Turian. The most common, or well-known one at least, is the baby skip. I don't know if either of these runners will go for the stand-up glitch or not. I'm assuming at least one of them will.
Yeah. Gives you just enough energy capacity to do stand-up glitch. Because of this, it's easy to forget that your health is going to fill up during the cutscene a lot faster than it would in 100%. Or to the left when that happens.
Yeah, getting stuck in Mother Brain, not ideal there. Cross product going for the G-rated number of missiles there, much appreciated.
Headed through those Metroid rooms.
And nice grouping there on those 3 Metroids, saving time and ammo.
Yep, that puts the runners, the Metroid rooms apart. Happens on Baby Skip and the Mother Brain fight.
And
damaging
TG
down.
like, yep.
The result of do its thing. TGDerp did not. Otherwise, crystal flashing would have been a possibility.
I always forget about the possibility of a crystal flash here.
TGDerp, turn off Varia and Screw Attack. Screw Attack is turned off to set up for the ice Zeb skip. Cross product almost had the baby skip. Got grabbed. Anyway, this trick that TGDerp is doing, Zeb skip, that's the reason why he turned off Screw Attack. Because you need to use iframes to into that barrier and land on the frozen Rinka. And you can't do that if you have Screw Attack. Oh.
Yeah, Elminster pointing out that is a little known minor glitch, and little known because it's just so rarely used. If you pause just at the right time when you enter a missile or energy tank refill station, you can actually leave it and begin running towards the door while you're technically still getting the refill. It saves just a second or two, but every second counts.
TGDerp's fighting Mother Brain. We saw cross product do the speed Zeb skip, but not get it. Of all the missiles that GT code gives you, cross product fell back to just killing the Zebs in the usual way. Derp is setting up stand-up glitch. And we see cross product about to set that up too. Deserves the main health bar back up to 700. The minimum amount required to set stand up. Quite conveniently, damage you take from the rainbow beam when you have Varia turned off gets you right to the top of the amount you need to get the Metroid to appear. You need to take further damage from Mother Brain.
Yeah.
Heading on over to the right to ensure that the Metroid will be within range of Mother Brain's attacks. Otherwise, that would be a soft lock.
Yeah, by damaging Mother Brain here throughout that phase, you're basically removing the amount of time it would normally take you to sit here and hack away at her with Hyper Beam, which doesn't seem like much, but again, every second counts, and it does save a number of seconds.
Yep, TGDerp took down Mother Brain 3 with just a few Hyper Beam shots, thanks to all of the damage done during stand-up. Begins the escape. As the Metroid cutscene finishes for cross product.
And there's not a lot that can go wrong during the escape, but there are a few things that can cause you to lose some seconds.
Shots on screen at the wrong moments of the end of the cutscene is saw there. But the game was able to get itself going again. Finish the Turian escape rooms, sparking up the climb.
Such an amazing spark there.
Crossproduct begins the escape.
And TGDerp going to enter the ship here with a time of 40 minutes and 40 seconds.
GG to TGDerp. We saw Crossproduct do the blue bomber strat. There are nice things about having spring ball.
Yeah, that's a really swag strat. I love the way that blue suit looks when you're in morph ball form.
Crossproduct with the diagonal spark. Door transition remains. Oh, well, looks like Crossproduct is going to be making a detour.
Doing the right thing. Oh, narrowly missing the escape spark.
Yeah, saving our animal friends. It's two. Grappling the steam and looking at what might be hidden inside the ship.
Checking to make sure there weren't any animals stowed away on board.
Crossproduct will finish in second with an official SRL time of 42 minutes and 13 seconds. GG.
Absolutely. Great job by both runners there. The two hardest parts of this run, as we said earlier, the lava dive and the green gate glitch, both runners did that perfectly without having to restart. Good escapes, good bosses, good runs all around.
Yeah, this was a very nice race. Good runs from both runners.
So the next race is going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be Eduardo Metroid versus Scotty McBody. A number of races tomorrow in succession: 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So Thursday is going to be a busy day for Super Metroid tomorrow.
Yeah, these will be nice races. The runners, by the way. For TGDerp.
And one of the trademarks for the GT Classic here, 54%, which is the 53% that the GT code gives you, plus grabbing screw attack on the way out.
Yep, 54% is the right percent. everyone get your deer forces ready for cross product. Force. And we should be seeing 54% here too.
Excellent.
GG to both runners. Again, be sure that you follow them.
Absolutely. Great runners all around. And with that, I am going to go to bed. Stump, thank you very much for the co-commentary. I hope we get to do it again sometime.
I hope so too. Yeah, commentate with you. But yeah, this will be all of the Super Metroid for tonight, but we do have a lineup of tournament matches tomorrow. Being at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward to watching many of those. But yeah. And there was Gambrinus, and yeah, we'll mission.
Cheers.